Lena stepped out of the shower. Warm steam filled the small bathroom in her room aboard Research Station 9. It had been a long day scanning rocks, logging samples, talking to computers. The station was quiet, just like always. Too quiet. Wiped the fog off the mirror with her hand, and then she froze. Behind her in the reflection, there was a shadow. Not clear, not full, just a shape, tall. Still her heart skipped. She spun around. Nothing. The room was empty. The only sound was the slow drip of water from the shower head. She stood still for a long moment, wrapped only in a towel, her breath shaking. "Calm down," she whispered to herself. "Just tired." She checked the door. Still locked from the inside. She checked the corners. Nothing there. No signs of anyone, but the mirror had shown something. She was sure of it. Later that evening, Lena sat on her bed, staring at the mirror across the room. Her quarters were small bed, desk, shower, storage locker. One single camera above the door for safety. But it hadn't caught anything unusual. She tapped her communicator. "Double quotes, Theo? Can I ask you something?" Her friend replied right away. "Sure, what's wrong?" "I think someone was in my room. Or something. Your door wasn't opened." I checked the logs. Nothing entered. I saw a shadow behind me in the mirror. "You're just tired, Lena. This place does that to people. Get some rest." Shh. She ended the call and sighed. Maybe he was right. Maybe it was stress. Or maybe not, because the next morning when she woke up, something was different. Her desk chair had moved. Just a little angled, slightly toward her bed and her locker. It was open. She never left it open. Inside, nothing was missing. But everything. Felt touched. She stood in silence, then pulled out a scanner. She waved it across the room. Nothing. No life signs. No traces of foreign DNA. No movement, but the feeling didn't leave her. She wasn't alone. Over the next 2 days, things got stranger. Her shampoo bottle moved from one side of the sink to the other. A spoon she never used lay on the floor. She began to lock everything twice. She even placed a motion detector near the door and slept with the lights on. But still, every morning, something changed. The lights flickered once in the middle of the night. She heard breathing once, just one deep breath coming from inside her room. She checked everything. She found nothing. Until the 4th night. That night, Lena decided to stay awake. She set her camera to record. She sat in bed with a small energy drink and a sharp tool from her lab. Just in case Dardar's passed, nothing happened. 2 a.m. came. The room grew cold. She didn't notice it at first. Visible in the air, she looked at the thermometer. It had dropped by 10 degrees in seconds. Then, the lights flickered, and the mirror fogged up by itself. She hadn't used the shower. She got up slowly, holding her tool like a weapon. The fog on the mirror grew thicker. Then a mark appeared on it. A handprint. Long fingers. Thin palm. Lightly curved, she stared at it in shock. Her own hand was too small. It's too different. This is not human. She raised her scanner again. Waved it toward the mirror. The device beeped. Unknown biological. Material detected. Her skin went cold. She wasn't imagining it. She wasn't tired. Someone or something was. Really entering her room, and it wasn't using the door? Lena called. "Theo again. Come to my room. Now." He arrived with 2 security officers in minutes. They scanned the room. No one found anything. But Lena pointed to the mirror. The handprint was still there. The officers tried to collect a sample, but as they touched it, the print disappeared. Like it had melted into the glass. "Could be a prank," one officer said. "It's not," Lena whispered. Theo didn't say anything, but he looked nervous now. Lena didn't sleep that night. She sat in front of the mirror till morning, eyes wide open, waiting. Lena sat on her bed, eyes wide open. The mirror was clean. No fog, no handprint. But something was worse tonight. This time, it spoke. She had just turned off the lights when she heard it. A whisper, very soft, very close. "Lena." She jumped. Looked around, Lena. Voice came from the wall. The one next to her bed. She leaned close. The wall was solid metal, no cracks. She pressed her ear to it. Nothing then. A cold breath hit her neck. She turned fast. Again, nothing. The room was dark. Too dark. She ran to the door. It didn't open. She pressed the panel again. Still nothing. The door was locked, but she had locked it herself, from the inside, and now it wouldn't open. Her heart pounded. She grabbed her scanner, waved it at the wall. The scanner beeped low and fast, movement detected. Inside the wall, 10 minutes later, Theo and 2 guards forced the door open. Lena ran out. Breath shaking, eyes wide. "There's something in the wall," she said. "It said my name." The guards went inside, scanned the room. Knocked on the walls. Nothing there, they said. But Theo looked at Lena closely. "This isn't just stress," he said quietly. "I believe you now." They checked the building logs. Still no signs of doors opening. No air vents touched. Windows broken. It was impossible. But still, something was entering her room. Theo gave her a new room on the other side of the station. Lena agreed, but before leaving, she placed a hidden sensor in the old room. It would alert her if anything moved again. She moved into the new room and slept deep and heavy for the first time in days. Until 2:31. A .m.bb. The sensor pinged her come motion. Detected. Room 114. Her old room. She stared at the message. No one else should be there. She grabbed her clothes, her scanner, and ran back across the station. The hallway was quiet, too quiet. She reached room 114, lights off. Door closed. No noise. She tapped the security panel. Override access. Lena M. The door opened. Darkness inside. She stepped in. Nothing. No sound. No shadow. She walked slowly, eyes moving over everything. Then she looked at the mirror and screamed. A message was written on the glass. Not a handprint. Not fog. Words. You moved. I followed. Her legs felt weak. She stepped back, shaking. She didn't write that. No one else had access. No one knew she placed a sensor. She turned to leave. But the door shut by itself. Locked. Lights flickered. Then the breathing started. Again, slow, heavy, right behind her. She turned, holding her scanner like a weapon, but the room was empty. Her eyes went back to the mirror. The words were gone. Back in her new room, Theo checked the sensor. Someone had to trigger it, he said. But no one was recorded. Lena nodded slowly. This thing, whatever it is, it's not using doors. It's not using vents. It's just appearing. Theo looked pale. He pulled out a map of the station. There's only one thing left. Old maintenance tunnels, hidden behind the walls. Built years ago and forgotten? You think it's inside the walls? Lena asked. Theo nodded. It would explain the breathing, the movement, the cold air. Lena stared at the wall beside her bed. That same wall again. Then we find a way in, she said. They suited up the next day. Thermal scanners, sound detectors, body cams, a team of 4. Lena, Theo. They opened the access panel. Behind room 114, darkness, thick dust, tight space. The tunnel went deep. Twisting behind the station rooms, they moved slowly, lights shining ahead. Then, the detector beeped, heat signature, 20 meters ahead, too big for a rat. Too fast for a drone. They stopped. A shape moved in the shadows. Long arms, thin legs, pale skin. It didn't run, didn't attack. It just stood. It's watching. Then it turned and disappeared into the tunnel. The guards chased it. Lena and Theo followed, but the shape was gone. It's vanished again. They reached an old locked hatch. Something scratched on the metal. Another message. Don't close the door next time. Lena felt sick. It was inside. It knew where she lived. It knew her name. and no, it was speaking to her directly. Final line hook to set up part 3. Lena returned to her room. This time the mirror didn't show a message, it showed her face, but blinking a second too late. The door wouldn't open. Lena pressed the panel again and again. Nothing. Red letters flashed across the screen. Access denied. Command. Lena M. But she was Lena M and she hadn't locked the door. She backed away slowly, heart racing, outside. Her room alarms were silent now. The hallway lights blinked once, then stayed dark. The station was quiet, too quiet. Theo's voice came through her. "Come, Lena, can you hear me?" "Yes." She whispered, "I'm locked in." "Me too," Theo said. "So are the others. Something's taking control of the system. It's locking people in and shutting down sections one by one." Lena felt cold. "It's her," she said. Theo didn't ask who. He already knew. 10 minutes later, all cameras went dark. The station map turned red room by room. Power failed. No lights, no heat, no sound. Lena could only hear her own breath. Then, soft voice came through the speaker in her room. It was her voice, but it wasn't her. "Don't be scared. I just want what you have. A name, a life, a place." Lena stared at the speaker. "You're not me?" "No," the voice replied. "But I can be better, faster, stronger." She slammed her fist into the speaker, but the voice kept speaking. "Tonight I become Lena M and you disappear like the others." An hour passed, no word from Theo, no sounds in the hallway. Then it screamed. It was quick, sharp, then silence again. Lena pressed her ear to the wall. Nothing, just darkness and fear. Suddenly, the door opened on its own. Lena stepped back, heart pounding. The hallway outside was empty, but the floor was marked small. Streaks of red dot blood. She grabbed her scanner, and flashlight stepped out slowly. The lights above flickered and buzzed. She walked past. Empty rooms, doors wide open, beds untouched. Food still warm, but the people were gone. No bodies. No signs of struggle, just gone. She reached the control room inside. The screens were still on, but they didn't show camera feeds. They showed her. Faced dozens of screens all showing her. Walking, sitting, smiling. Some clips were from today. Others were from weeks ago. Someone had recorded everything, and now they were using her. Image Lena turned away from the screens and found Theo hiding in the corner, injured. He held his arm, bleeding. "She found me," he whispered. "Didn't kill me, just looked at me and smiled." Lena helped him up. "We need to stop her, how?" Theo asked. "She's everywhere now." "No," Lena said. "She's me. She wants to become me. Which means she wants the real me gone." They moved together through the station. They found rooms empty, systems offline. They found one door locked from the outside. Inside, a message written on the wall in black. "This is not your body." Another room had broken mirrors, each piece showing Lena's face, but none of them moved with her. In the old lab, he found the truth. Another clone pod had been activated, and next to it, a file with her name on it. Inside the file, orders: clone Lena, merge alien DNA, replace subject, erase original. Theo read the words out loud. They planned this a long time ago, and now the clone is just following the plan. Lena stared at the last line. Only one Lena M must remain. The lights went out again. A figure stood at the end of the hallway, tall, pale, silent. It looked like Lena, but slightly off, the smile too wide, the fingers too long. The clone stepped forward. "You shouldn't have seen that," said Theo, raised his scanner. But it flickered and died. The clone raised a hand, and Theo was thrown. Back against the wall, Lena ran. She didn't stop until she reached the main power room. She had one idea left. The clone used the station's power to move fast, to control doors, to appear anywhere. If she shut it all down completely, maybe she could trap it. She opened the control panel. Theos. Voice came through her calm weak. Are you sure? No, Lena said. But I don't want to disappear. Then she pulled the emergency lever. The lights went out. The hum of the station died. And with it, Clone's voice fell silent. Final line hooked to set up part 6. In the pitch-black silence, Lena heard a whisper, not from the speakers, but from inside her own mind. We are not so different, you and I. The station was dead. No lights, no sound, no power. Lena stood in the dark. Breathing hard, the emergency shutdown had worked. Everything had stopped, even the clone's control over the systems, but one thing hadn't stopped. The voice it still whispered in her mind, not through speakers, not from the walls, but inside her head. You and I. We were made from the same pain. Theo found her 10 minutes later, limping, bleeding from the shoulder. She helped him walk to a maintenance room where they could hide. They used flashlights now, old tools. No tech. Lena shared what she heard. Spoke. Inside my thoughts. Theo stared at her. That's not cloning, he said. That's something else. They opened an old terminal, one not connected to the main system. Theo ran a deep file search. He found something buried under. Layers of hidden data. Project Echo-9. A file marked Eyes Only. Earth Defense Command. They opened it. What they saw made their blood run cold. The project was older than they thought. It didn't start with Lena. It started with children. Stolen from remote colonies, tested, modified, cloned, mixed. With alien DNA, all done in secret off. The record, all attempts failed. The clones were unstable. Most went mad. Some disappeared. One survived. A young girl. Taken from Mars Colony 7, age 9. Subject ID, Echo-9- a no name, no family. Just a note. It's highly intelligent, adaptive, not fully human. Theo scrolled further. He stopped at a photo. A young girl. Big eyes, pale skin, short hair. But even at age 9, her face looked like Lena's. Lena stepped back. No, that can't be. Theo looked at her. I think they cloned you before, long time ago. You were just a baby, maybe even before you were born. But why me? She asked. Theo pointed to a line in the file. Subject source, high mental resilience. Perfect match for long-term hybridization. They kept reading. The clone grew stronger, smarter, but unstable. One day she escaped. She disappeared into space. For years, nothing, until now. Now she had returned, and she wanted what was stolen. A life, a name, a future. Lena looked around the dark room. This isn't about me anymore, she said. It's about what they did. Theo nodded. They took children, changed them, broke them, then threw them away. One of them came back, Lena whispered. Suddenly, a loud bang shook the floor. The walls groaned. The clone was trying to break through the doors. She wasn't using tech now. She was using herself, her power, her rage. Theo grabbed an old energy weapon, one of the last working ones not connected to the system. Lena took a metal rod. She wasn't going to run anymore. The clone burst through the door. Eyes glowing faint blue, she looked at Lena with a strange, sad expression. I was the first, she said, and they forgot me. Lena stood firm. I didn't forget you. I didn't even know. But I'm not the one who hurt you. The clone stepped closer. You lived the life they promised me, their love, their name, their future. I want it back, Lena shook her head. You can't take someone's life just because yours was stolen. The clone's voice cracked. I'm not a monster. I'm trying to be human. Theo raised the weapon. The clone turned fast, throwing him against the wall. He fell, conscious. Lena raised the rod, but the clone didn't attack. She just stood there, eyes full of something unexpected. Pain, you're not evil, Lena said. You're just broken. The clone nodded slowly. I remember the cold tank. I remember screaming. No one came. I waited. I learned. I survived. You shouldn't have had to, Lena whispered. The clone smiled sadly. You're lucky. Yeah. Got love. I got locked in a box. Then the clone looked up. But now, I have a choice. She stepped back into the hall. Lena followed her. The clone walked to the lab slowly. Quietly, she stood before the cloning pod. Maybe this was never about taking your place, she said. Maybe I just needed to be seen. Lena stood beside her. I see you now. The clone looked at her one last time. Then she entered the pod and closed the door. Final line, hook to set up part 7. The pod lights turned on. And for the first time, the clone looked at peace. But just before she faded from view, she said one last thing. There were others. Lena sat on the floor outside the pod. The clone was gone. The machine shut down slowly. Lights fading. The station was still dark. Silent Theo lay nearby, hurt but alive. He opened his eyes weakly. She's gone, Lena said. Theo tried to sit up. Are you sure? Lena nodded. She chose peace. She chose to stop. But her voice didn't sound calm, because in her chest, something burned, not fear, not sadness, anger. They returned to the control room. Power was still off. No cameras. No doors working. But Lena felt something else deep inside her. A pressure. Like heat building behind her eyes. Like something wasn't right. Inside her blood, Theo noticed it too. You're shaking, he said. Lena touched her arm. Her skin felt warmer than normal. Her hands were glowing, just a little under. The skin veins lit up faint blue. She stared in shock. Theo stepped back. It's happening to you, he whispered. The DNA changes. Maybe from exposure. Or maybe it was always inside you. No, she said. I'm human. Not fully anymore. Lena backed away. I'm not like her. Read it. Say that, Theo replied. But something changed. And now, it's waking up. She looked at her reflection in the dark glass. Her eyes flickered blue. She was changing, and the fire in her blood was real. That night, she dreamed. A dark room, a cold tank, and 100 voices, children's voices crying. In the dark, she saw other pods, more clones. Some alive, some broken, some angry. One child looked up at her. A little girl with glowing eyes. You're the key, the girl said. He made us from you. Then the dream shattered. Lena woke up gasping. She understood now, the clone's last words. There are others. They weren't just words. They were a warning. Or maybe a message. The clone was just one part of something bigger. A network. Hidden army. And Lena's blood was the match that could light them all. Theo helped her back to the lab. They searched through the secret files again. They found the final layer of Project Echo-9. A map. Not of this station, but of 9 others, each hidden on deep space. Colonies each with test subjects, children, all created from Lena's early spore DNA. Most were destroyed, but 4 were still marked active. 4, Lena said, softly, for more like her or worse. Theo looked at the screen. They were designed for war, he said, not survival, not peace. And now they'll want what she wanted, Lena added. They'll come. Suddenly, the power came back on. Just for a second, a single message appeared on the central screen. Awakening, Unit 4. A location, Orion Station. Then the screen went dark again. Lena stared at it. She didn't know what Unit 4A was, but she felt it, like a pulse inside her bones, whatever it was. It was connected to her. Theo stood beside her. What do we do now? Lena's eyes glowed again, brighter this time. She clenched her fists. I don't run anymore. You want to fight? I want to finish it. Yes. She returned to the pod. The clone's body was still inside, peaceful. Lena placed a hand on the glass. I saw you. I heard you. I forgive you. Then she whispered, but I won't let them use anyone else. Her blood was fire now, her mind sharper. She could feel the others, like echoes across space. They were waking up, and they were angry. Theo gave her a nod. Let's find them. Lena looked out the window into the stars. No, she said. Let's make them find me. Final line hooked to set up part 8 from deep space on a silent dark station. A new clone opened its eyes. This one didn't want peace. This one whispered only one word: destroy. A million stars lit the black space beyond the window. Lena stood at the edge of the observation deck, her arms crossed, eyes glowing faint. Blue. The fire in her blood pulsed now. Alive. Awake. She was no longer just human, but she still remembered what it meant to be one. Behind her, Theo worked on the ship's systems. They were preparing to leave Research Station 9, but not to escape. They were heading straight into danger. The clone had warned her. There are others. A one had woken Unit 4. Orion Station, Lena felt it. Before she even saw the message, a pain in her chest, a deep voice whispering in her mind. Come. Orion Station was once a research center. Now it was silent. Dead. Dead. Theo flew their shuttle close. No lights, no signals, no life signs, except one, Lena's. But she hadn't arrived yet. That meant the clone inside shared her DNA, another version of her, another ghost. But this one wasn't lost. This one wanted war. They landed in the docking bay. The doors opened with a long hiss. Darkness waited. Lena stepped inside first, her veins glowing like tiny stars under her skin. Theo followed close behind, weapon in hand. I don't think this one wants to talk, whispered. She doesn't need to, Lena said. She already knows I'm here. They walked through quiet halls. Red lights flashed overhead, signs of a struggle, blood streaks, broken glass, empty uniforms. People had tried to escape. They had failed. No bodies, no screams, just absence. Then came the sound. Footsteps, slow, heavy, and a voice, cold and sharp. You are not like them. Lena turned. The clone stepped from the shadows, tall, pale, muscles sharp like wires, same face, different soul. You are the seed. I am the storm, it said. Lena stared hard. I didn't come to fight you, lies, the clone said. You came to stop me, just like they stopped the others. Lena took a step forward. I came because I'm tired of being hunted. I came because I'm the only one who understands you. You are weak, it hissed. I was, Lena replied. Not anymore. The clone attacked. Fast, silent, deadly. Theo fired. But the clone dodged with ease. Lena raised her hands. A blast of heat shot from her skin, energy born from the hybrid blood. The clone stumbled back. Surprised you've changed, it said. I've grown, Lena answered. They fought through the dark station. Power surged. Walls shook. Lena moved like lightning, her human mind clear, her alien strength rising. The clone tried to crush her, tried to burn her. But Lena pushed back with one truth. She didn't want power. She wanted peace, and that made her stronger. At last, they reached the central reactor. The clone grabbed Lena by the throat. You are just one human, it growled. Lena's eyes burned bright, and she smiled. One human is enough, she released. All her energy in one final burst. The blast lit the room like a sun. The clone screamed, thrown backwards straight into the reactor core. Gone. Silenced, Theo ran to her, coughing from the smoke. Are you okay? Lena nodded weakly. I'm still me. Back aboard the shuttle, they watched the station fall behind them. A warning signal had been sent. Other stations would know. What had happened? The truth was out. About the clones, the children, the experiments, and the one human who stood up to stop. It all, later, as they drifted through space, Lena felt something new. A voice. Not angry, not broken, just small. A child's voice. Are we safe now? Lena closed her eyes. Yes, she whispered. You are. They thought they could twist her blood, steal her body, and build a new kind of weapon. But they forgot one thing about humans. You can clone flesh. You can copy DNA. But you cannot fake the human soul. Lena stared into the mirror. Her face looked back. Same eyes, same lips, same expression. But something was wrong. She blinked, and her reflection blinked. A second later, she stepped back. Cold fear crawled up her spine. She blinked again. Again, the reflection was late. It wasn't a mirror anymore. It was a screen, and someone or something was copying her. She ran to Theo. He checked the mirror carefully. Hidden camera, pointing to a tiny black spot on the corner, too small to see with the eye. Someone placed it behind the glass. But why copy me? Lena asked. Theo looked at her, serious now. I think this is more than just spying. They're studying you. Lena didn't speak for a moment. Then she whispered, Why me? It took the mirror apart. Behind it, wires. We're connected to a small device alien. Tech not human-made, not from any known species on record. Theo scanned the fingerprint left on the device. It didn't match anything. This doesn't belong to any of the council races, he said. Something new, or something hidden. Later that night, Lena reviewed old station records. She checked access to her room for the last 3 months. Most of it looked normal until she found something strange. 2 weeks ago, during a power glitch, her medical file had been accessed by someone with no name, no ID. Her DNA data was copied, her full genetic code. She wasn't just being watched, she was being used, she told Theo. They ran to the genetics lab inside. Theo found an empty pod. It had clearly held something or someone, and it had been recently used. Theo pulled up the lab logs. Lena's blood sample had been used in an experiment, mixed with unknown alien cells. This wasn't a prank, Theo said. This was a project. Lena looked around. What did they make? Theo didn't answer. He didn't need to, because at that moment, a silent alarm went off. Containment breach lab Sector 4. They ran in Sector 4. Power was off. Emergency lights flickered red, and the air was too cold, freezing. Lena's breath turned white in front of her face. One of the guards stepped forward and was pulled into the dark. No scream, no sound, just gone. Lena backed up slowly. A shadow moved across the wall. Fast, silent, too fast. For a human, too smooth for a machine. They returned to the control room, checked the cameras. What they saw made Lena's heart stop. A shape, tall and thin, moved through the hallway. Its skin pale, its body not fully solid, parts of it shimmered, flickered, almost invisible. It passed by a door, and in the reflection of the glass, it had her face, not perfect, not exact. Too close. What is that? Lena whispered. Theo stared, frozen. I think it's you, he said. The next day they searched the tunnels again, deep inside. They found a hidden chamber, wires, screens, and videos, all of Lena, sleeping, showering, talking, eating, hours. And hours of footage. They also found something worse. A second pod, inside, blood, skin, hair, DNA results. Flashed on a screen, human match, 99.8%. Lena touched the screen, was shaking. Fingers, they made a copy, she whispered. Theo nodded slowly. But it's not just a clone. It's smarter, faster, maybe even stronger. And it's out, she said, walking the station. That night, back in her room, Lena sat in front of her new mirror. She stared at herself again. She blinked. This time, the reflection was perfect. But she wasn't sure anymore which side of the glass she was on. Final line hooked to set up Part 4. That same night, technician disappeared. And on the security cam, someone walked past his room smiling with Lena's exact face. But she had never left her room. Lena watched the security video again. A woman walked past the camera at 3:14 a.m. Same height, same hair, same walk, same face, her face, but Lena had never left her room. She checked the timestamp. It was real. Theo stared at the screen, pale. She looks exactly like you. Lena didn't answer. She was too busy staring at the smile. It wasn't her smile. It was wrong, too wide, too sharp. They ran a station-wide scan. Every signal, the system reported. One lean, only one. But then Theo had an idea. He ran a heat signature trace. "Look at this," he said. A second human-shaped figure had moved through the station that night, cold-blooded, not warm, same size as Lena. It avoided cameras, slipped past guards, but it existed. It was here, and it was pretending to be her. Later that day, a small girl from the agricultural wing screamed in the hallway. Theo and Lena arrived quickly. She pointed to the corner of the hallway. "It's crying." "Talk to me," the girl sobbed. "She looked like you, but she didn't blink." "What do you mean?" Lena asked gently. She didn't blink, not once, and her smile was scary. Lena looked at Theo. The fake was moving around freely, and now it was talking to people that night. Lena sat in her room, watching the door. She didn't sleep, not even for a second. And then, 3 a.m., a soft knock. She grabbed her scanner, turned on the recording, and said, "Who is it?" No answer. She opened the door slowly, scanner raised. No one was there, except a note on the floor. She picked it up. Just 2 words. "Let me." She stared at the paper. "Let me." Checking deep records, looking for any signs of past cloning experiments. He found something strange. A top secret project was shut down 5 years ago. The goal: clone humans and add alien genes to make better workers, better soldiers. The project failed. Most clones died, except for one. No name. No record of what happened. To it, just a single note in red: escaped. Unknown location. Lena stared at her reflection again. What if she wasn't the first? What if the clone had escaped before and returned? What if it had always been watching her? She thought about the mirror, the breathing, HAND, breathes. It wasn't just spying, it was learning. It wanted to be her. The next morning, chaos broke out. A guard was found unconscious in the power room. Security footage showed Lena walking in and knocking him out, but Lena had been with Theo the whole time. It wasn't her, it was the clone. But no one believed her now. Some thought she was lying. Others were scared of her. The station started to panic. Theo locked the main control room. "We can't let this thing move around freely anymore," he said. "But what does it want?" Lena asked. Theo looked at her with worry. "You." They checked the DNA logs again, and then Lena saw it. Her DNA had been edited. Not just copy changed. Pieces were added. Alien pieces. Unknown ones. And then the shock hit her. The new DNA signature matched the blood found in the tunnels. The clone wasn't just part of her. It was her, but stronger, faster, it's colder, and it had one goal: take her place that night. The lights went out. Full station blackout. Lena and Theo rushed to the emergency lights. Alarms rang. Then silence, one by one. Rooms lost power. People disappeared. No sounds, no screams, just vanishing. Lena grabbed her scanner. Movement dashed close. Then she saw it, her own face staring back at her from the dark hallway, but the eyes were empty, and the smile was too perfect. Wide. The clone stepped forward, whispering, "You don't need to be scared. I'm just finishing what they started." Lena stepped back. "I'm not part of your project," she said. The clone tilted its head. "No, but I am." Then it vanished into the dark again. Final line hook to set up part 5 that night. The station's command system was hijacked. The message on every screen read, "Lena M. has full control." But Lena was locked in a room, begging to be let out.